Starting today, we're going to have many people around the state, volunteers for Opportunity Maine, that will begin this process of ramping up for a signature collecting phase in which we will collect 60,000 signatures to get a question on the ballot that would make education more accessible and more affordable for Maine people. The premise is really quite simple. We want students to stay in the state after graduation, and we want people who want to attain education to be able to do so without financial impediments. Thus, we have introduced legislation that would grant tax credits to graduates of Maine colleges and universities in the equivalent amount of their student loan payments after graduation if they live, work, and pay taxes in the state of Maine thereafter.
Why ballot initiatives? It's a really good question. We feel that the legislature of Maine has the option to pass this once we collect our signatures. However, we think it's really important that the conversation regarding higher education and the economic future of the state happens amongst all Maine people, and thus that's why we've kind of proposed to go with the ballot initiative approach.
I've seen myself and many other peers of mine and other people throughout the state who have seen tremendous financial barriers as we've pursued education, and tremendous barriers after our education process because of student loan debt.
Because as a non-traditional student myself, knowing that there is such a need for higher educated people in the state, one of the biggest barriers getting people to go back to college or to attend college in the first place is the financial burden. And knowing that in the future, the possibility of lessening that burden for Maine people and having our graduates stay in the state is extremely important to the economy.
I attended the University of Southern Maine. I'm from Caribou, Maine, and my intentions were to leave the state immediately after graduating from high school. For financial reasons, I did go to USM. I've always wanted to stay in the state after going to USM.
I'm originally from Michigan. I've lived here for almost 14 years. It's home to me. This is where I had my children, and I'm raising them here. It's a wonderful state to live in. It's one of the top states in the United States to raise a family in.
And one of the things I started finding with many of my peers and myself as we were graduating and as I approached graduation is that it's going to be really difficult to pay off those student loans here in Maine, and that we need some kind of incentive to stay here in the state because half of the people that graduate from schools are leaving.
My personal connection is that I have 2 young children who eventually will be attending college, and Mom will be paying off her student loans and not be able to finance their education. So in order for our future generations to attend college, this is extremely important.
We are launching this initiative in order to address what business leaders and economists across the country all agree is the #1 driver of economic development. It's education. The more educated your workforce, the more educated your citizenry, the stronger your economy is, the higher wages are, the greater your business development within the state is. And also, because Maine, as Andy referenced before, lags 30% behind the rest of New England in terms of degree attainment, we also lag 30% behind the rest of New England in terms of average incomes.
We really haven't found a lot of opposition. It's a really nonpartisan effort. We've got business support, we've got labor support, we've got, of course, education support. We haven't found a lot of opposition. That being said, there are some concerns about the cost of this program to the state and how much it will be utilized. But we feel that both of those are small problems in the large scope of what this aims to accomplish. Right now we're looking to collect signatures. We're collecting 60,000 signatures, and we're using a combination of on-campus and off-campus volunteers across the state, all the way from Fort Kent all the way down to York Community College, to get those volunteers and those signatures through the fall of this year.
So does every campus already have an
We've got a lot of campuses that know about this initiative and a lot that are mobilizing. Not everyone's completely on board yet, but we anticipate that will happen very soon.